Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to you, wherever you are in the world. Before we dive into today's truly heartwarming topic, I want to take a moment to just send out a little wish for you and your loved ones. In a world that can sometimes feel so busy and complicated, I genuinely hope this message finds you in good spirits and, more importantly, in good health. May you always be surrounded by positivity, strength, and wellness. Let's just take a nice, deep breath together and get ready to learn about one of nature's most adorable and fascinating behaviors. So, let's talk about sea otters. If you've ever seen a picture or a video of these incredible animals, you've probably seen the one. You know the one I'm talking about. A group of them, floating peacefully on their backs on the gentle ocean swells, and right there, in the middle of all that fluffy cuteness, you see it. They are holding hands. It's an image that has melted millions of hearts across the internet, a symbol of pure, innocent connection in the animal kingdom. It looks so human-like, so deliberate, so sweet. And it absolutely is sweet, but there's so much more to this behavior than just being adorable. This simple act of holding hands is actually a brilliant and vital survival strategy, a testament to the incredible adaptations these animals have developed to thrive in their challenging ocean home. It's a story of evolution, biology, social bonding, and pure instinct, all wrapped up in one of the furriest and most charismatic packages on the planet. To truly understand why sea otters hold hands, we need to first understand who they are and where they live. Sea otters are marine mammals, but they are quite unique in their family. Unlike seals and sea lions, which are also marine mammals, sea otters spend the vast majority of their lives in the water. They are born at sea, they eat, sleep, play, and even give birth in the water. They are the heaviest members of the weasel family, but they are also the smallest of all marine mammals, a fact that makes their survival in the cold, harsh Pacific Ocean all the more impressive. Their home is the North Pacific, from the rocky coastlines and kelp forests of California all the way up past Alaska and over to Russia and Japan. This is not a warm, tropical paradise. These waters are cold. Icy cold. And that is the first major challenge a sea otter faces every single day of its life: staying warm. You see, as a relatively small marine mammal, a sea otter has a huge problem with heat loss. Water is much better at conducting heat away from your body than air is. Think about it. You can stand outside on a 60-degree Fahrenheit day feeling perfectly fine, but jump into a 60-degree Fahrenheit lake and you'll be shivering uncontrollably in minutes. Now imagine living in that 24/7. For us humans, we might put on a thick wetsuit to go swimming in cold water. Well, the sea otter comes equipped with the most incredible natural wetsuit you can possibly imagine: its fur. Here's a fact that will absolutely blow your mind. We humans might have about 100,000 hairs on our entire head. A sea otter has up to 1 million hairs packed into a single square inch of its skin. Let me say that again. 1 square inch. 1 million hairs. Their entire body is covered in this unbelievably dense, plush fur. This fur is so thick that it actually has 2 layers. There's a longer, waterproof layer of guard hairs on top, and beneath that, an incredibly dense, woolly layer called underfur. The secret to its insulating power is air. The sea otter's fur is designed to trap a layer of air right next to its skin. This layer of air is warmed by the otter's body heat, and because air is a fantastic insulator, it creates a protective buffer between the otter's skin and the freezing ocean water. It's a natural, organic dry suit. This is why a sea otter's fur looks so shiny and beautiful when it's clean and healthy. That's the light reflecting off the layer of air bubbles trapped in the fur. It's literally wearing a coat made of air. But this incredible system comes with a huge responsibility: maintenance. If that fur gets dirty, matted, or covered in oil, it loses its ability to trap air. The guard hairs get clogged, water penetrates to the skin, and the otter quickly loses its body heat, leading to a condition called hypothermia, which can be fatal. This is why sea otters are obsessive groomers. They spend hours and hours each day meticulously cleaning their fur, blowing air into it, and fluffing it up to maintain that perfect, life-saving insulation. They are, in essence, constant perfectionists about their personal flotation and heating device. This brings us to another critical point. All that fur is fantastic for insulation, but it does not provide much in the way of another essential feature for marine mammals, blubber. Seals, whales, and walruses have a thick layer of fat under their skin called blubber. Blubber serves as both an energy reserve and a superb insulator. Sea otters, with their fur-based system, have very little blubber. This means they have no significant fat stores to live off of. Consequently, they have to eat constantly to fuel their incredibly high metabolism, the engine that generates all that body heat they are working so hard to conserve. A sea otter has to eat about 25% to 30% of its body weight in food every single day just to stay alive. For a full-grown male that might weigh 70 or 80 pounds, that's over 20 pounds of food daily. They are eating machines, and their diet consists mainly of hard-shelled invertebrates like sea urchins, crabs, clams, mussels, and abalone. They are a keystone species, meaning their feeding habits have a disproportionate effect on their environment. By preying on sea urchins, which eat kelp, they prevent the urchins from destroying the kelp forests. These kelp forests are vital ecosystems, providing food and shelter for countless other marine species. So, the sea otter is not just a cute face, it's a crucial gardener of the ocean, maintaining the health and balance of the entire coastal environment. Now, we finally have the context to truly appreciate the hand-holding behavior, which scientists more formally call rafting. Sea otters, especially males, often gather in large, single-sex groups called rafts. These rafts can sometimes number in the dozens or even hundreds of animals. They do this for socializing and, most importantly, for rest. But sleeping in the ocean presents a massive problem. The ocean is never still. There are currents, waves, and tides that can pull an animal out to the open sea, far from its vital feeding grounds. For a small animal with no blubber, being lost at sea means certain death. It would either starve or succumb to the cold. This is the existential problem that hand-holding solves. When a sea otter decides to sleep, it will often wrap itself in a giant strand of kelp, the towering seaweed that grows from the ocean floor like an underwater forest. It will literally grab the kelp with its paws and twist and turn until it's securely anchored, like a boat tying itself to a dock. This prevents it from drifting away while it sleeps. But what about when they are out in areas without kelp? Or what if a storm has torn the kelp from the seafloor? This is where their famous social behavior comes in. The otters will come together and form a gigantic, living raft. They will link themselves to one another. They do this by rolling onto their backs, floating side by side, and then reaching out to the otters next to them. They will hold onto each other's paws. It's a conscious, deliberate act. This connection does a few incredible things. First, and most practically, it acts as a physical anchor. By linking together, the group creates a much larger, heavier, and more stable mass. It's far harder for a current to pull away a raft of 50 interconnected otters than it is to pull away a single, solitary otter. They become their own island of stability in a shifting sea. They are essentially saying, "We are stronger together." If one otter starts to drift, it tugs on the paw of its neighbor, which might cause that otter to stir slightly and readjust, keeping the whole group intact. It's a collective security system. Secondly, it provides immense emotional comfort and security. Sea otters are highly social and intelligent animals. They form strong bonds with each other. For a mother and her pup, holding hands is absolutely essential. A sea otter pup is born in the water and is completely dependent on its mother. It cannot swim right away, and it certainly cannot survive the cold on its own. The mother will spend almost all her time cradling the pup on her chest, grooming it, feeding it, and, when she needs to sleep, she will hold its paw. This ensures that, even in her sleep, she can feel if her pup starts to drift away or get into trouble. That physical tether is a direct line of communication and safety. For the pup, holding its mother's paw is the ultimate security blanket, a constant reassurance in a vast and watery world. This behavior extends to the larger rafts as well. In a group, they are safer from potential predators. While their main predators are sharks and killer whales, there is safety in numbers. A large, tangled mass of otters is a more confusing and difficult target for a predator than a single, sleeping otter. So, by holding hands, they are not just avoiding drift, they are also standing watch for each other, creating a communal early warning system. The act itself is made possible by a few unique physical adaptations. A sea otter's front paws are fascinating. They are not flippers like a seal's. They are very dexterous and hand-like, with loose skin under the armpits that functions like pockets. They use these paws for everything, cracking open shellfish with a rock, grooming their fur, and, of course, holding hands. Their paws have retractable claws, but more importantly, they can interlock their fingers with another otter's. It's a purposeful grip. It's not just a casual touch, it's a genuine hand-in-hand clasp. Sometimes, if you look at a large raft, you won't just see pairs holding hands, you'll see a complex web of connections. One otter might be holding the paw of the otter next to it, while also having its tail linked with another otter a few spots down. They create a literal living net, all to ensure that everyone in the group stays together, safe and warm. And warmth is the final, crucial piece of this puzzle. Remember, staying warm is the sea otter's #1 priority. When they sleep, their metabolic rate naturally drops a little bit to conserve energy. But in the cold water, they can't let it drop too much. By forming a large raft, they are also engaging in a bit of communal thermoregulation. While they aren't cuddling for warmth in the way we might think, since their fur is designed to keep water out and a personal layer of air in, the close proximity does still help. It reduces the overall surface area of the group that is exposed to the moving water, slightly reducing the collective heat loss. It's like the difference between being alone in a wide open field in a storm versus being in a crowd of people. You're still getting wet, but you're slightly more sheltered from the wind. Furthermore, this social bonding releases positive hormones that reduce stress, and a less stressed animal has a more efficient metabolism. So, in a very real way, holding hands is a behavior that nourishes both the body and the soul of a sea otter. It's also a behavior that speaks to their intelligence and emotional capacity. This isn't a hardwired, robotic instinct performed in isolation. It's a social contract. It requires trust. An otter has to trust that its neighbor will hold on and not let go. It has to be willing to be vulnerable and connected to another creature. We often see otters that are mates holding hands, and we see mothers and pups, but we also see what appear to be just friends, members of the same raft, engaging in this behavior. It strengthens social bonds and maintains the cohesion of the group. In a way, it's their version of a handshake or a hug, a physical gesture that says, "I'm here with you. We are in this together." This beautiful adaptation, however, exists against a backdrop of a very difficult history for the species. There was a time when the sight of a raft of sea otters, holding hands in a quiet cove, was almost lost forever. In the 18th and 19th centuries, sea otters were hunted to the very brink of extinction for their incredibly dense, luxurious fur. The maritime fur trade was ruthless and efficient. It's estimated that between 500,000 and 1 million sea otters were killed in this period. Their populations were devastated, wiped out across huge swaths of their former range. By the early 1900s, only a few tiny, remnant populations remained, hidden away in remote corners of Alaska and California. The world was very close to losing them completely, and with them, we would have lost this magical behavior, this symbol of connection. Thankfully, with international protection, first under the Northern Pacific Fur Seal Treaty of 1911 and later under the Marine Mammal Protection Act and the Endangered Species Act, the slaughter stopped. Conservationists began the painstaking work of reintroducing sea otters to their former habitats. These efforts have been remarkably successful, though the species is still classified as endangered in many areas and faces new threats like oil spills, which are catastrophic for their delicate fur and habitat loss. When you see that viral image of sea otters holding hands, you are seeing more than just a cute animal photo. You are seeing a story of resilience. You are seeing a profound evolutionary solution to a life-or-death problem. You are seeing the power of community and cooperation in the natural world. You are seeing a mother's love made physically manifest in the gentle clasp of a paw. You are seeing a creature that was almost erased from our planet, defiantly and gently floating on, holding on, and reminding us of the delicate and beautiful interconnections that sustain all life. It is a behavior that resonates so deeply with us humans because we see our own values reflected in it: love, family, friendship, trust, and the understanding that we are stronger when we stand together, or in this case, when we float together, hand in hand. So the next time you need a little moment of peace, just picture it: a calm, glassy sea, a forest of kelp swaying gently below the surface, and a raft of sea otters on their backs, paws interlocked, rocking gently on the waves, safe and sound in each other's company. It's a perfect picture of serenity, and it's a powerful reminder of the incredible ingenuity and beauty of the natural world.